Hey guys, so what is up? RedPandaMining here. How you guys all doing? I hope you're all doing really well and having a really great day. In this video, I want to do something interesting and hopefully it relates to some of you guys that are into crypto mining right now. I just want to talk about mining rig frames and server cases and I just want to give you guys my experience so far in the past 3 years of utilizing so many different mining frames, and I am wondering if some of you guys will relate as well. I would love to know your guys' experience. So I first want to start off with talking about the infamous Vetta frames. You guys know that the Vetta frames are probably, I would say, the #1 most popular mining rig frame out there for most general home residential miners. And specifically this one right here, this is the Vetta V3D. I'm sure some people have seen this before and also have probably seen the prices of these right now are probably just insane. I think I've seen the prices up to like $400 or something on Amazon. But anyways, these Vetta frames I have a love-hate relationship with because they are such a pain to build. I've had many struggles trying to build these frames over the past years, and I have a decent amount of them. I think every time I've been building these Vetta frames, this is the 8 GPU Vetta frame, I've had an issue with these little tiny angled parts in the corners, and the feet always break, like these little plastic tabs for the corners of the Vetta frames, they always break. And I don't know, just putting in the little bolts inside to hold up the GPUs, you guys can see here, has been a pain on some of these Vetta frames that I've built in the past. But overall, you know, the Vetta frames have been tried and true, have always worked to a certain extent, but it totally depends how cool your mining farm is, okay? And I guess your room and all that kind of stuff. So right now for me, the ambient temperature in my basement here is about 83 Fahrenheit and 28 degrees Celsius. And so I do have one 18-inch exhaust fan that's extracting all the heat right now. So I believe that's about, I think, 15 or 1800 CFM. It's just being extracted out. And so it's decently not bad in here, but enough to get rid of the heat. So these mining rig frames, especially the Vetta frames, these are essentially the open air style, right? They're not server case styles, which I'll talk about in a second. But with these, you know, the heat from the GPUs are coming off from pretty much all over, right? Because these are considered to be open air style. But some of the mining rig frames, they do have placeholders for fans, right? So I have 120 mil fans on this rig here, and some of them I don't, which I'll show you in a sec. So essentially these fans blow air this way, but where is that heat gonna go, right? And it's pretty much dispersing all around this rig, and ultimately in my case, it's going out into the exhaust fan, which is really good. So I mean, in some people's cases where most home residential miners will, you know, may not have an exhaust fan or something in their house. And so in the winter time, which I've done before, is just have these rigs all over the house, and it's essentially just heating the house. So going along with the Vetta frames, I also want to talk about, there's been many different variations of the Vetta frames, and there are other brands. It's not just Vetta, like there's Kingwin, there's Rosewill that have the same style of mining rig frames. And most of them that I've used so far have been all Vetta. I have never experienced the Rosewill ones, the Kingwin frames. There's a whole bunch of different ones out there. But you can see here, these are the 6 GPU mining frames. Right now I'm not utilizing them to its full potential, but you can see here, I can stack them, okay? So if we go to the back of over here, when you start building these, you'll see these metal strips which you can combine, pretty much just lock in place another Vetta frame on top, essentially. So you guys can see here, I've essentially just stacked Vetta frames together. Like, this is really good, just so unless you don't have enough space in your place or something, instead of having the rigs on the floor all over the place. But then you run into an issue with heat, okay? I haven't had that issue yet because I don't have much issue with extracting heat. But for some people that stack them up in your house, if you don't have a way where maybe you don't have like a shop fan or something blowing on the rigs, the heat is essentially going to be rising. So any of the rigs that you have more on top and on top will get hotter and hotter. So that's something to look out for, especially when you're going to be stacking Vetta frames or other Vetta frames on top of each other. Heat will probably become an issue. But anyways, the Vetta frames are, yeah, I would say the most popular. But now let's talk about the server cases. Okay, so you guys know I have a bunch of server cases from mineshop.eu, and so this one's a Minebox 8 and this is a Minebox 12. Let's go with the back here. And so my experience with these so far have been pretty awesome. I love the server case style because these really help with extracting heat and also focusing the airflow in one direction, all right? So in this kind of configuration, the fans are extracting out, all right, the other side of these cases, and so cold air is coming through here, okay, and going through the GPUs in a directed way, all right, so which is really good for cooling the GPUs. Now I do want to, down the road, I have a project with this Minebox 12. You guys can see it with it open, so you can see what I'm talking about. I want to put 6 RTX 3080s in here, and I want to see, because right now, you guys know I have 6 RTX 3080s on a AAA wave frame. Actually, I have one right over here just to give you guys some context. It looks exactly like this, but the problem with it is that the RTX 3080s are so thick and they are really close together, all right, on this AAA mining rig frame. So I'm having issues with thermal throttling and lowering of mega hash, and so I want to try putting those RTX 3080s, specifically the Asus Tufts. I want to try putting 6 in here. I should be able to. I'm not sure if this motherboard will support it, but mineshop.eu graciously sent me this Minebox 12 to try it. So I'm gonna take this bar out, of course, and hopefully see if the length of the Asus Tufts will fit within this case. So that is something I want to test down the road. And mind you guys, all the frames that I'm talking about today, you know, it's really gonna depend as well the length of the GPUs. So up until now, just recently, with the experience of the 3000 series GPUs for myself, like the RTX 3080s, the RTX 3090s, they are really long. So if you are planning to build a Vetta frame, like this one for instance, this is a 6 GPU version and I have 6 RX 570s on here, you can see that the length is no problem because the RX 570's depth is not that long. But with the RTX 3080s, they actually go pretty much right up to where this bar is, a little bit more into the bar, and the fan grills, if you decide to have some fans, which you guys know the V3D versions or V3Cs, they have little placeholders for the fans, it will not fit here, okay? The length of the GPUs, the RTX 3080s for example, are just way too long, and so it won't fit on the Vetta frame. So yeah, this is the fan grill that I'm talking about here. So if you were to use these for the RTX 3080s, you essentially will not be able to put the fan grills on the Vetta frame, okay? So you may need to have like a box fan or shop fan or something behind it or in front of it, depending how you want to extract the heat, or you know, something like that. So yeah, that's just something to be wary about with the Vetta frames, especially for the 30 series cards that are really long, okay? Zotac Trinity, EVGA for the Win 3 might be fine actually, but there's a whole bunch of different models. You just have to go to the respective website of the brand of the GPU and you can see the specifications and see how long or the depth of those GPUs are. And yeah, now I wanted to also talk about handmade frames, okay? So yeah, just to end off with server case style mining rigs, I just want to end off with like, these are awesome. I love these kind of styles, and you probably know a lot of mining farms that do it this way as well, that it also saves with a lot of density issues. Like you can see how close together the GPUs are versus like a mining rig frame like these, right? Minus the Vetta frame. Look how much space this 19 GPU AAA wave frame takes. Like, it's literally massive, right? But you can see over here, I have 20 GPUs in this little area right here, 20. So 8 up there and 12 down there. But on this 19 GPU, it's gonna take a lot of space. So you guys can see the pros and cons versus, you know, open air rigs versus server cases. Mind you, there is gonna be an issue of the cost of these server cases, okay, versus a mining rig frame, such as the Vetta frames right now, as they're really expensive. So now, I guess that correlates to, if you wanna do something in a cheaper way, is these kind of mining rig frames, okay? These are the handmade style. I learned making these from Guntis. He made a video back in, I think, 2015 or 2016. I'll have it linked down below. I've made, I think, about 10 or 15 of these frames As you guys can see, this is the 1660 rig. I'll show you guys on the screen here how much it's made so far. It's been doing pretty good, but I'm not sure when we will hit that $2,500, $3,000 break-even point. But anyways, similar idea to the Vetta frames, okay? Except I don't have any placeholder for the fans. I mean, you could do some zap strap method under here to have some 120 mil fans, but I've never done that, as I've always had airflow going through these anyway. But yeah, it only costed me like $20 of supplies to build these handmade frames. Okay, so I have a better example over here. You guys can see it's literally just wood and aluminum angle. Okay, so $20 to $40 worth of supplies. You can just go to Home Depot. You got to get a cutter of some sort to cut the aluminum angle to spec. Like I said, I'll have Guntus's video down below. And I guess another good thing about making these yourself is that you can modularize it the way you want. There's actually many different variations I've seen out there that, you know, you can do horizontal, mining rig style. I'll see if I can find that picture. But if you want to do more than 6, like this is a 6 GPU style that I've made those holes, right? But you can make these aluminum angle wooden frames a lot longer, right? And essentially do 12 GPUs. Like I've seen people do like, I think 24 GPU length like aluminum angled style frames, which is just insane. But yeah, if you're handy and you think you can build these yourself, it's actually pretty easy, to be honest. But yeah, some people may be asking like, Red Panda, why don't you use those anymore? And well, I do actually. I still have 2 rigs that utilize these aluminum frames that I've made in 2017. Only 2 rigs so far. But honestly, the reasons why I went with like some of the Vetta frames over the past year or 2 is because I was able to buy these at like $20 on Craigslist. People were just giving them away like for free, and now they're worth like $300 to $400 to $500, which is just insane to me. It's just crazy that Vetta frames go for that much. But anyways, yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Some people like to use mining rig frames that are, you know, the Vetta frames. Some people like to do server case style if they have to worry about cooling or density or something like that and they have a lot of money. And some people like to do the aluminum angle way, all right, which is totally fine. And then I guess another final way some people do it is with just a blank mining shelf, such as this one here. I have like a Costco shelf, and some people like hang the GPUs here and, you know, put the motherboard here, which I think Bitsby Trippin does something similar to that. Actually, no, he does it on like a board style, like a wood MDF board, and then he has all the GPUs on there. I think that's pretty slick, and then he has them on shelves. So that's another really cost-effective way. I mean, I've seen a lot of creative ways some people have made mining rigs. It's actually just amazing. But anyways guys, I want to know what your experience is with mining rig frames or server cases, or none of those, and you're just like putting them on the floor, or you're putting them on cardboard boxes, or, you know, server cases like this. This is a Rosewell server case. I really got to use these. And you know, just so many different ways to make your rigs, essentially, or GPUs to mine. So anyways, my friends, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.